All right, let's take you to the story. Residents in Cape Town are expected to experience an ice-cold front this evening. South African weather has issued a level 4 yellow warning for the province. Emergency services will also be on standby during this time. Let's go to our reporter Monique Mortlock. He's on the story and she joins us now live to tell us more. Monique, what can Cape Townians expect in terms of the cold front for today and tomorrow?
They can expect temperatures to drop, and they can also expect to see even more rainfall in the coming days from tomorrow onwards. When we were speaking to the SA Weather Services meteorologist Lebogang Makgati a little earlier, she was telling us that although a cold front is expected to make landfall tonight, that a second cold front is expected to make landing tomorrow evening, and that's the one that we are expecting will bring that extra cold snap, and those in the Western Cape, especially in high-lying areas like your mountainous regions, can expect an even further drop in temperatures. In fact, the SA Weather Service believes that there may also be some snowfall in those high-lying areas. Let's just take a listen to Lebogang Makgati explaining to us what we can expect.
For the rest of the night, the cold front is just west of us. We're expecting landfall tonight around 8 p.m. but not much is expected out of this cold front in terms of rainfall. We do expect some gusty windy conditions which are expected to fan some fires in some places already. But the major cold front that we're expecting is expected to make landfall tomorrow night, and with this cold front we're expecting intense rainfall but more persistent rainfall over the next couple of days. There is another cold front that will be following shortly behind the Monday one. We're expecting continuous rainfall from Monday through to Wednesday. So this will not be heavy rainfall at once, but rather continuous rainfall throughout the next consecutive 3 days, which is expected to cause some flooded roads, flooding in some formal and informal settlements as well. We're still expecting some windy conditions ahead of the next two cold fronts as well.
Monique, we know emergency services personnel said they're on standby. What exactly does this mean, and what are the preparations that they've put in place?
This means that it's not only those first responders that are on standby in case of localized flooding, especially in your informal settlements where the drainage is always a problem, because usually when we see a cold front like this one hitting, it's always those vulnerable people living in your low-lying areas, who have maybe placed structures on wetlands that are always the most susceptible to your localized flooding. And emergency services are keeping an eye out, especially in these areas, before this cold front hit. Earlier today, Colin Diner, the head of the province's disaster management centre, he was telling us that they have put out warnings to people living in these vulnerable areas. They've informed them that a cold front is coming, to move if they can, to seek alternative accommodation. Let's just take a listen to Mr. Diner explaining some of those measures that have been put in place.
So the important thing, with informal settlements obviously is the fact that we get what we call localized flooding. So it is important to prepare area to make sure that we don't get a big build-up of rain, and there's a lot of pre-season planning that happens. It's very, very important to make sure that stormwater drains are open, that we make sure that people are not dumping in areas where we could end up with a situation that we get damming up of water, which cause torrents, raging torrents when those dams break, those kind of wall improvised things break. And then also, awareness, making people aware of what's going to happen. And it is a very difficult situation, obviously, with people in areas where you don't have the right kind of drainage. But we do spend a lot of time, as I said, telling people to heed the warnings. And then also our response systems must be in place. So our rescue teams, our emergency medical services, they all get their heads up. We've all done pre-planning for the weekend. And obviously that response must then also be rapid.
All right, Monique, I was going to ask you another question, but I don't want your fingers and toes to freeze off your hands and feet, so I'll let you go for now, and I'm going to ask you to just stay safe. That was Monique Mortlock, our reporter in Cape Town, giving us an update on the cold weather, the cold front that Cape Townians can expect today and worse tomorrow.